Hi, I'm Wilson Carlisle,
Hi, I'm Sarah Montaglio.
and we're going to talk to you about personal hygiene in and out of the workplace. Okay, so proper hygiene starts before you even leave your house and before you go to work. So before you go to work, you should shower, wash your hair, brush your teeth, any normal thing that you would do on a regular day to keep your personal hygiene in check. So after you do those things, you have to make sure that your hair is neat, and brush it if need be. If you have facial hair, you could do like trimming your beard, or make sure that any of your facial hair is clean. Alright, before you also leave your house, you should make sure that your work attire is clean. Make sure there are no stains, no contaminants such as like pet hair, food on your clothes. You should make sure that every time that you go to work, you have a fresh, clean apron, or if you have a uniform like a t-shirt or pants or anything like that, you have to make sure that they're clean. Iron them if need be, but just make sure that they are not full of any contaminants or remainders of food. Make sure that everything that you have, your attire, is ready to go to work. You should have non-slip shoes. You should have your hair pulled back. Make sure you have a hair tie or a hairnet, anything that you would use to keep your hair out of the food. You should also make sure that when working in food service, you should not really wear any cologne or perfume. If you do, it should be very light or slightly undetectable, just because it could bother people's noses, it could bother people's food. You don't want to get anything in the food or have any bad odors or anything like that. Also, when you're working in food service, you should always remember that if you do feel sick or coughing or sneezing or have any inclination that you are going to be sick, you should call your manager and you should not come into work. Because in other jobs, you could come into work if you're feeling a little snuffly or something like that. But in food service, it's very important that you cannot sneeze, cough, or contaminate food if you do believe that you are sick. So always make sure to call your manager and let them know that you won't be able to come in, so they can call in someone to cover your shift. Also, if you're working with immunocompromised people, or people say if you're working in a hospital, or if you're working in a children's home, or if you're working in a school, you should take precaution to make sure that you definitely don't come into work, because of the fact that those groups are more prone to get sick than other groups.
Before starting work, you should always check your apron or your chef coat. Make sure that they're clean. And if your hair is longer than shoulder's length, then you need to put it up into a bun or ponytail. As long as your hair is out of your face, it's okay. Another thing to help keep your hair from being a physical contaminant is your chef's hat. Other physical contaminants can include dangly jewelry, artificial nails, or nail polish. So clean fingers. After you're properly dressed for work with your chef's hat, your hair tied back, and your chef's coat or apron, then you need to wash your hands.
During work, there are times that you should wash your hands to maintain personal hygiene and to eliminate bacteria. Those times are if you go to the bathroom, if you touch your hair while you're at work, if you touch your clothes, touch your pants, or have, let's say people go out to have a smoke or anything, or a lot of people nowadays carry their phones with them, so if you touch your phone, you should always wash your hands after you're done with any of those tasks before getting back to work.
Now that you learned about personal hygiene, it's time for a quiz.
What jewelry is not acceptable to wear at the workplace? Dangling jewelry. Anything that can contaminate or get into the food or injure yourself. Single-banded wedding bands are acceptable to wear at the workplace because they are easy to clean, and they do not dangle, and they don't rise up, and they cannot easily get attached to anything or contaminate food or harbor a lot of bacteria.
What should you do if you get to work and your attire is dirty? You should put it into the designated. Dirty chef's coats and apron can harbor bacteria. If you get to work and you see that your chef coat or apron is dirty, get a new one or clean one. That's the end of our quiz and our video.
Thank you for watching, and hope you learned a lot about personal hygiene.